Hey, what's up, super friends, and welcome to Cult Classic Neo. I'm your host, Michael T. Shamborn III, and I want to thank all of you for tuning in to this very first episode on our channel. As you can see here, we're playing The Witcher 3, but before we get into the adventures of one Geralt of Rivia, I'd just like to give you a brief idea of what you can expect from Cult Classic Neo going forward into the future. So I got this crazy idea that enjoyable video game content and intellectual discussion and discourse don't need to be two separate things. Not on YouTube, not anywhere on the internet. And I want Cult Classic Neo to really be dedicated as a safe place for us to come and discuss what we believe are the best games, the most classic games, our favorite games. So every day and each week, I'm going to dedicate some time to playing the games I think are best. In the early stages of the channel, we'll probably focus on newer games in order that we can attract viewership and things of that nature. But going down the line, I'd like to take you back into my past and show you the games that I love from my childhood all the way up to the man that you hear talking before you tonight. But really want to be focused on marrying enjoyable game content to intellectual discussion about the games we think are the best, maybe the games we think are the worst, or really any topic that's of interest in the games industry. So without further ado, I'm going to jump on Roach. Actually, I'm not. I'm going to go down here and get this skull, and I'm kind of milling around.
In black crystal. Why do I think this is Yen's?
I'm milling around because I don't want Vesemir to start talking, but we're playing this modded. I'll walk you through just a couple of the mods I've got installed as we play through, and it's related to me shutting up and letting these guys talk.
Useful they are as creatures.
Because you can brew potions from their blood?
No, because by eating rotting corpses they prevent epidemics.
Did he know they eat the living as well?
No, really upset him too. His theory collapsed.
So for the most part, the mods I have installed are just centered around things I find tedious about open world RPGs, like weapons breaking. I had fall damage installed, but that one stopped working. But the biggest one I have installed is really related to what kept The Witcher 3 from being what I consider to be a perfect role-playing game. You see, I think this is probably...
War is not exactly going our way.
We have a side.
The northern realms.
Radovid's realms, don't you mean? Temeria and Edirn are no more.
Radovid's pledged to restore the old borders as soon as he wins the war.
Believe that?
Gotta believe something. It's what keeps us going.
'Tis what keeps us going. So,
Perfect.
what kept this game really from being my perfect RPG was the leveling system, and more specifically, how stingy this game is with XP. So I've modded the game itself to have better, what I consider better, of course. Some of you may disagree and actually enjoy the fact that the XP is completely stingy because it keeps you from leveling, but I like to level. I like to be out in the open world, fight monsters like the ones you see down there, and get better experience so that I can level up more quickly, become more powerful, and thus start winning once I decide to start engaging with the storyline. So I'm actually going to showcase for you. Let's take a look here. Okay, we're level 3, so we technically should still be level 1, but the modifier I have installed gave us a good amount of XP in the first fight. Let's see, is this going to hurt me? Okay, that didn't hurt me. But the other fall I had did, and really disappointed that fall damage stopped working, because it was working earlier today when I played the game. I'm waiting for this drowner to pop up, but let's check the experience points we're going to get here. I know you're there, dude. Pop out, because I'm not trying to have him. There you are. What's up, homie? Oh, gotcha. Wake up. You're not ready. You're not ready. So when I played this game and beat it the first time, I actually played on Death March, and I can tell you, I wasn't as disappointed with it as, most people I ran into were, the kind of sadistic gamers. They're like, it's not hard enough. It's absolutely too easy. And I'm not saying those folks are wrong, by the way. I'm just saying I thought it was plenty difficult. I was perfectly okay with how difficult this game was, without any complaint whatsoever. But I'm playing a step down from that now. Just because I don't want to slog through, even with a XP multiplier, I don't want battles to take 20 minutes because I'm dancing around so much. And that's really what the difficulty boiled down to, was combat requiring you to be absolutely patient in the way that you attack and the way that you defend yourself. All right, there you are. Come get some. How did he land that? He's clearly faster than I am. All right, so don't think we leveled up just yet. But as you can see, oh, wrong button. Actually, right button. Save often, my friends. Save often. Let's see. Yeah, we can save over that one. Why not? All right, so we got that. Yeah, we got a good amount of XP from this fight here. And what you'll see is as the game goes on, it gets harder to level up. But we're going to level up quickly in the early stages of the game because of that XP multiplier. But as we get further and further into the game, it's going to require more XP for us to level up. So I think the multiplier, the way I have it set, is going to balance this out. Like I said, we're playing this on the step down from Death March. I think it's Blood and Bones or something of that nature. I actually don't remember what it's called. But decided to take a step down since I've already beaten it on Death March. You know, I kind of got the feeling that Death March was the way the game was intended to be played, you know, originally. So when I played it for the first time, that's the way I engaged with it. Stop. Got him. Excelente. And so typically when you play this part in the game, and I forgot to mention in the beginning that we currently are about 20 minutes into the game. I didn't show you the very beginning because, one, I have small people in my life who I don't want to see gratuitous, you know, adult scenes when they watch this YouTube channel. Not that they'll be watching The Witcher 3 anyway, because, you know, aside from that, there's a lot of content here that I probably wouldn't let them watch, but just in case, and just in case anybody else comes across the channel, I don't want the gratuity that may be offensive to some and certainly offensive to some parents, I'm sure, you know, to hurt our little ones out there. So I'm going to avoid that at all costs, and that's why I skipped forward. You really didn't miss much. You missed that part, and then you missed kind of the point of the story is Geralt's looking for his ward, or, you know, his quasi-daughter, Ciri, because he believes that she's in trouble. You should totally be able to harvest from horses. I wonder if that's a mod. I'm going to have to look that up. So yeah, that's where we've started. And, you know, technically we're supposed to stay on the path and not go fight drowners, but what can I do? I'm a level junkie, man. That's how I play the game. I'll tell you a cool story once this cutscene's over, too.
Help me! Help!
Got him. Run toward chaos. I love it. That dude picked up a horse and flew away. Do you understand the implications of that? A bird dog thing just picked a horse up and flew off with it.
Has gone.
That scene makes me laugh every time I see it. And I've seen it many times, as you'll hear here in my interesting story as soon as this cutscene is done.
Gods, that was close. I was sure I'd end up like my mare. Provided you got lucky.
Your horse died quickly, but griffins like to toy with their prey. Eat it alive, piece by piece.
You'd like a reward, I suppose.
You don't owe us anything. You were in need. We helped.
And they call witches heartless. Say they won't lift a finger without pay.
They also say mice are born of rotting straw. Back to the trail.
Like I said, leads to the main road and ends there, muddled. You seek someone?
Yes, a woman. Medium height, long black hair. Seen anyone like that?
No. But there's an inn here in White Orchard. Sole one around. Gets its share of travelers. Perhaps you'll learn something there. Besides, the innkeep's my cousin. Tell her Bram sent you. She'll treat you like family.
Not a bad idea. Especially since that wound needs cleaning.
Beast barely grazed me. But sure, could use a good rye. Nice and cool, you know, straight from a cellar.
Let's go.
Let's go. So before I get into my story, I want to point out something from the game story that I think is really cool. You notice that Vesemir just says, be nice to get a rye, nice and cool, you know, straight from the cellar. And you can tell that this game is a period piece. Obviously, this is like the 1500s, and for you history buffs out there, I may be completely wrong, so feel free to point that out to me if you like. But
So, a griffin this close to the village? Strange.
My thoughts exactly. In the forest or the mountains, sure, but here, near the main road.
Maybe it's the war. Corpses everywhere, the stench of blood, burnt flesh. Drives monsters crazy sometimes.
Men, too. We need to watch ourselves in White Orchard, and we should leave as soon as we learn anything.
hoorah. So what I'm trying to point out is that the developers or the writers here really respect the player. You know, they put a lot of effort into bringing the presentation to you as it is. Like, this is a period piece where obviously there's no refrigeration, but the writing points that out. It helps you feel grounded in the world that you're in, and that's a very, very important thing for many RPG players, and especially for me, because oftentimes I'll get turned off by an RPG story because I feel like it's just trying to ram these cliches down my throat without really respecting me as the bystander. And that's something that The Witcher 3 really doesn't do. Now, I'll argue, as you'll see, if you haven't played it, don't worry, I won't spoil anything for you, but the game does get a little long in the tooth the further you get into it, and especially toward the end. A lot of the dialogue, you might, if you're like me, you'll just be like, all right, already, we got it. I've been listening to you all talk for 100 hours. Let's just get on with the show. And that's because, you know, the dialogue isn't amazing in every particular situation, but it was well done there, and I wanted to point that out. Now, my interesting story is that this is, I think, my 8th time trying to film episode number 1. And let's go to the job board here. Actually, before we go to the job board, let me tell my story, and I'll let you guys and ladies get a glimpse of the town. So this is my 8th time trying to film this episode, and that's because at first when I would run it now, and it's really kind of a testament to how heavily resourced this game is. So when I first was trying to do it, it was crashing my GPU. My GPU could not take the load, and it was overheating. So I overclocked it. No problem. Kept the temperatures down, but I noticed my PC kept cutting off while I was trying to make the show. And, you know, I was just like, the only other thing that could be an issue, I'd done some digging around on the internet, and I knew some things from, you know, working with computers for a lot of years. And I was like, the only other thing that could be causing this to crash is that the power source isn't enough. And between The Witcher 3 eating up resources, causing the GPU to overclock, eating up resources, my microphone eating up resources, my headset eating up resources, I was just like, you know what the problem really may be? Is that my power supply on my PC, it's lower end. I don't think it can handle The Witcher 3, at least not for a person making Let's Play videos on the internet. If I were just playing it on low settings, it might work, but, you know, I just got to thinking, and, you know, I basically went to Best Buy today, and I know Best Buy is kind of like the Antichrist, but I needed to make it happen quick, and it's not really the Antichrist. There's just better places to get power supplies, and I got one that was a pretty hefty upgrade, and now I'm finally able to film a show. So it's really just a testament to how, I guess, well-made, one might say, this game is, that it just requires so much resource to run its aesthetics and its environments. I think that's really a testament to how much love the developers put in this game. So when I played this game before, I never paid attention to a single one of these things, and I'm certainly not going to make you all read them now. But I find it interesting that they put even this much story into the quests. You know, this last night a soldier fled from the army camp under cover of darkness. The wanted man, a recruit who recently volunteered. You know, like, somebody had to write all this, you know, like that. It's just crazy to me that somebody was actually on payroll and had to read all of this stuff. It's interesting too. So I beat this game on the PlayStation 4, and the UI is a bit different. Now, I don't know if that's because the game's been updated quite a bit since I played it many, many moons ago, or if the PC version is just a little bit different. But neither here nor there. Let's go off into the wilds a little bit. I know we want to get into the tavern and see what's going to happen next. We're going to do that on episode 2. Right now, I'd like to get off into the wilds, if I can, and see if we can get some of these quests knocked out. Let's actually set a marker for this dude right here. just so you can get an idea what. And I mean, look at the wind blowing. This one of the things I love about role-playing games is when they can make me feel like I'm actually in the world with the player, you know, that I'm playing. And The Witcher 3 does that probably about as well, if not better, than any other game I've played ever. You know, the first game that really did that for me, did more quests show up, or are these the ones I already grabbed? No, more quests actually showed up. The first game that ever really did that for me on a grand scale was Shenmue. And this guy's gonna start yelling at us.
What happened here?
Oh, got a wee bit chilly the night, so I set fire to my forge. Got it nice and roaring. Roasted some wieners. What do you think happened, dimwit? Some bugger set alight me workshop. I've lost everything. Everything!
Sorry. Any suspects?
Whole damned village. I've lived here half a century. Thought they saw me as one of their own. But everything changed when the Black Ones came. I'm the only smith around, so I got to service their garrison. Bang dents out of plate, shoe horses.
You can see the dynamic weather in the background too. It's pretty dope.
Don't pay me a bloody copper. Just give me supplies and orders. But humans can't fathom that. They think I'm getting rich off their misfortune. That I sleep on a pile of gold like a ploughing dragon. They've stopped talking to me. Spit when I pass. And now this.
I can find your arsonist, provided you're willing to pay.
I've not much left, but I'll give you all if you bring me that horse in, so that he gets what he deserves. The night of the fire, I heard movement outside my hut. Went out to see if I could find any tracks. I found nothing. But then I haven't got cat eyes, have I?
That was not necessary. That was good writing and good delivery. Like, he made the joke funnier than it actually was, I think. The writing was just kind of normal, but he delivered it well. Look at this, man. Look at this dynamic weather rolling in. Tell me that's not sexy, yo. Big hurricane thunderstorm coming. I just think that's dope. But like I said, Shenmue was the first game that really gave me that sense of, wow, I feel like I'm in Debuita. I would love to play Shenmue on this channel too. The challenge with YouTube, and I'll just, I'll be real with you guys. The challenge with YouTube when I watch a lot of other creators is that, that try to do what I'm doing. I studied a lot of folks before I jumped in headlong here. Is that, retro gaming content is tough to get people interested in because YouTube, it skews a little bit younger in terms of the viewership. And a lot of folks are really just interested in the new hotness, not necessarily the old goodness. So I'll try to figure out how we can mix both worlds. But with that said, enough talk about Shenmue. It's time for some Witcher 3. We're going to get into this tavern in episode 2. I hope that you all will come along this journey with me. Stay with us for the whole ride. I can't imagine we'll get done with The Witcher in less than 100 episodes. I just don't know how we'll do it, trying to complete everything in the game, which is what I'm going to try to do. Showcase for you some of the mods here. We'll also show you the leveling system here in a future video. We'll get that squared away. But like I said, friends, if you were into intellectual discussion and fun discussion too, everything's not going to be a history report. We're going to have some fun. We're going to tell some jokes. We're going to hang out. But if you're looking for a cool place, a positive place where there's no cynicism or me hating and screaming about every game that doesn't go my way, but really celebrating what makes video games so special to all of us. And even though I'll argue that, most of the video games I play are not great, they are great feats of technology and effort on the part of the developer, whether I like them or not. And that's really what I want to capture with this channel. And if that's something you want to be a part of, if that's a journey you want to go on, I would be honored if you would subscribe, not for my sake. I'm not, getting anything out of the deal. I'm hoping not to even have to monetize this channel, to be honest with you. I just want to make content that's fun for everybody to watch. And if that's your thing, please subscribe so we can keep you up to date with everything we've got going on here. And until next time, my friends, it's been a blessing. I'd like to bless all of you, and I'll see you soon.